don't know where you are in your TCM journey, if you've already finished, if you've been practicing for a while, if you're a new practitioner, if you're still in school, no matter what, this episode is still going to be really useful because one of the things that I feel we are missing when we're in school is we are not taught how to promote our services. And if nobody knows where we are, what we do, or what we can do for them, nobody comes through the door. And we have all this knowledge, all this amazing medicine we've learned to help people, and we can't help anybody. That to me is mind blowing. This is who I was when I first started practicing in 2003. I had no idea I needed to promote my services. This is why quite often I love to bring guests that can steer us towards a little bit of understanding why it's important to promote what we do in a way that's educational. So it's not something weird or uncomfortable. It's easy. And my guest today is Molly Cahill. She is very active on Instagram and I love what she shares. I'm part of her whole world because she's so good at it. And so today she comes in and she's going to share a lot of tips on how to help you promote your services without feeling overwhelmed. Fantastic. Let's go. Molly and I have known each other a long time, but we have never met in person. And that's the magic of the internet, the magic of social media. And that's how we connected. And I love her energy because she's so happy. She also has a regular acupuncturist that she goes sees all the time. And she can share that too as well. It's so fun to have you here. Welcome, Molly Cahill to the show.
I'm so happy to be here. I actually had Cosmetic acupuncture this morning and she did like a neck lift technique. Have you ever seen that done? Yeah, and it's so many needles. And she's like, you don't have to go anywhere later today, do you? I'm like, actually, I'm going to be on an acupuncturist podcast. So I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. I alternate. I'll get body and then cosmetic. I love it. I'm a huge fan.
That's awesome. I love it. At AcuPro Academy, we actually offer a course on cosmetic acupuncture for acupuncturists because it is such a great, safe, effective way to age gracefully without injecting anything. So I love that you're doing this. And the podcast is audio for a lot of people, but we also put it on YouTube. So you could see Molly if you're watching on YouTube, and you can see me too as well. If you're a fan of the Big Bang Theory show on TV,
huge. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Big Bang Theory. It made me laugh for many years. And the thing that Sheldon Cooper, if you know the character, he always wears long sleeve and over it a t-shirt. So today I'm putting the Sheldon Cooper Big Bang Theory. I'm wearing a long sleeve because it's freezing in Canada right now. We're recording in winter. I know you might not listen to it in winter, but I'm always ahead with the recording. And then I have a t-shirt over it that says Acupuncture Rocks. So if you want to see that, go onto the YouTube channel and then watch it there.
I love it.
Molly helps really not just acupuncturists, but people in our industry like chiropractors and naturopathic medicine doctors, all that. My first question, because I've never asked you this, why did you decide? Because obviously you help in the marketing perspective, but you could help marketing any business.
Yeah.
Why did you really thought, I want to help people that are in the complementary, holistic medicine kind of practitioners?
I always joke 10 years ago, did I wake up and be like, one day I'm going to help chiropractors and acupuncturists with Instagram. Like what? Like, no, it's such a very bizarre niche. I know, but it's kind of a long string of probably why a lot of you got into acupuncture in the first place. Like either maybe many of you were raised around like traditional Chinese medicine. And so that's just what you went into. But for many of you, maybe more like me, who had many, don't get me wrong, Western medicine saves lives daily. I'm very grateful for it. But I think as a society, we just swung so far and just thought we could, outsmart our bodies. I just personally and family got burned so many times. We had so many bad experiences with conventional medicine. When I was 22, I had sciatica really bad. And I went to the doctor and they were like, oh, well, your legs are different lengths. So put a heel lift in your shoe and then here's muscle relaxers. And like they made me so sleepy. I couldn't function. And I'm like, I'm 22 years old. I'm not going to wear an orthotic, like with a heel lift in my shoe. You know what I mean? And at the time I was selling advertising, and I had just sold an ad to a chiropractor, and he was like, well, I can help you. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like my family had never, we weren't a chiropractic family. So I went and I was out of pain within about a week. And so I was just like, what the heck? Like, how come more people don't know about this? Right. Well, then fast forward for 6 years, I was in medical sales. I sold like therapeutic type of drug testing, and we sold it to management and addiction clinics. So for 6 years, I was in the saddest places on earth day in and day out. How come more people don't know about these other options, right? I didn't discover acupuncture until a little bit later. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I was desperate. Morning sickness is not fair. It was an all day sickness. And I had met a girl who was an acupuncturist. And so she was an hour away from me. And I remember texting her. I was like, can I be your patient? She's like, oh, yeah, I see morning sickness all the time. And it helped me so much. So fast forward, when I got pregnant with my daughter, like I said, I quit my corporate job. I was burnt out. I had no idea what was going to come next. And when my daughter was about a year old, her chiropractor and I became friends. And she said, do you want to help me with my Instagram? And I was like, sure. And so I did. And then that kind of snowballed. More humans need to know about holistic health solutions. That's my why.
You're absolutely right. Every person or practitioner that came into this medicine, being chiropractic, naturopathic medicine, acupuncture, they went in it a lot of the time because of the reason you said, because they were sick, they found somebody that helped them, or somebody in their family was sick, and then they saw something that they didn't know about. And you're right. One of the things that for acupuncturists anyway, we don't learn anything about marketing or business in school. I hope that changes in the future, but right now it's still really not part of any kind of program. When we come out of school, we're so excited because we want to change the world. But if we don't understand what you teach, which is how to market our services, then nobody's going to be changed by our knowledge because we're not going to see anybody. Nobody's going to come through the doors. So when I first started, I thought everybody would just come in because, I opened my doors, but who knew I was there? No one. And so I had to learn that marketing, it's not a sales job. It's just an education so people can make a choice and decide, wait a minute, I didn't know that acupuncturists can help for morning sickness. Wow, that's great. I didn't know that acupuncturists can do cosmetic acupuncture, and I have another option if I wanted to look into this. So it's just education. We shouldn't call it marketing in our mind because I think it gives us a weird sensation for a lot of people, which it shouldn't. We should call it education.
Yeah.
Because it's just giving the knowledge. And so people know and they can make a choice.
Yeah.
Nobody's forcing them, right? Like you can make a choice.
Yeah. I teach like Instagram and email specifically. But what a lot of people don't realize is I always tell this story, and it's a true story. My sister-in-law learned how to breastfeed my niece by watching reels on Instagram.
See what I
So
mean?
if you think this stuff doesn't matter, it 100% does. It's more powerful, I think, than you give it credit. My aunt, for example, she's had a brain tumor and she's had a lot of pain. And with the help of a client of mine, we found her a good acupuncturist. And what if she had seen a video like, hey, this can help you? She had no idea. And it really has helped her a lot. It's less about, you're not trying to selling and marketing. You're doing people a disservice if you aren't telling them that you have a solution to their problem.
Exactly. 100%. You've been giving this knowledge. You need to share it, and then people can make an informed decision. So thank you for sharing that. When I talk to acupuncturists about marketing their services using, let's say, social media, and a lot of us are on Instagram, Facebook, other things, but I think those two come up really quite often. They feel overwhelmed. How many times a week do I have to post? I don't know what to say. I don't want to be on camera. I'm so scared. There's all those things that we say in our head. And I always say, well, it's not because I'm on social media all over the place that it's easy for me neither. I still struggle, but I do it because I want to help. So if you want to help, you got to let go of the preconception that, oh, I can't be on camera, because the idea is you want to help. So what would you say to people that have a hard time trying to educate the world on Instagram, for example, because there's all those little barriers?
The first thing I always tell is exactly what I just said. It's revisiting your why. It's like, okay, why are you even doing this? Because if you say, I should post on Instagram today, or I should post on Facebook, that gives you zero motivation. Like that is nothing. That energetically feels like, if you're like, oh my gosh, I just saw this patient who has been riddled with migraines for 10 years. out of desperation, she was Googling and she finally figured out she could come to acupuncture. And now she hasn't had a migraine in 6 months. Like when you can revisit and think about cases like that, and then think about posting from that place, I think it makes a huge difference in your mindset. And I was joking yesterday on Instagram, actually. I was like, I need to find a better word for mindset, because you hear the word mindset and everybody's like, that's not sexy. I don't want to learn about it. Just give me the tactics, But seriously, it has to go back to that. The other thing that I want acupuncturists to know when it comes to posting is that you don't have the same business model as Clara for AcuPro Show. Like Clara, I would say you're an influencer. You're likely going to have a lot of silent lurkers in your audience, especially when you're posting about more sensitive topics like fertility. You're not going to have ManyChat automation of comment the word fertility if you've been having trouble getting pregnant. Like it's just different, right? A lot of people think it's quote not working because they don't see like the sheer volume of like likes and comments, and they're like, oh, no one's seeing this, but I promise you people are watching. The other thing I like to always point out is we are, especially when you're in the field that you're in and you're literally, not only are you touching people, but you're poking them with tiny needles. So if I go to your website and there's like not a picture of you, I'm like, okay, well, I'll go on to the next one. Not that I'm looking for someone who looks a certain way. It's such an intimate service. People buy from people, right? We know this. I always use Target as the example. It's like huge, huge corporation, but they bring in people to be like spokespeople for like people in the States will definitely know Chip and Joanna Gaines, who are like the big faces of this very popular decorating like home decor show. It's their line of home decor rather than just being Target brand home decor, because people have that emotional connection to Chip and Joanna because they've watched the show. It'd be like the Sheldon Cooper line of t-shirts, if he was a real person. You've got the connection, the human connection to that, right? I don't teach anything about websites, but I do teach a lot of marketing foundations and principles that span any platform, whether you want to be on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever. And one of those is, like I said, that personal connection place. If you do have an Instagram profile and you set it up 5 years ago and forgot it existed, and all it is the name of your clinic and a logo, I still don't have any connection to you. Even if there's multiple people in your clinic, have your name. You've got to have photos. On top of that is a big thing is the social proof aspect. So for some of these people, like I said, if you were raised around acupuncture, you were like me and you moved to the area and you already knew it worked, that's one thing, right? Your marketing messaging to a warm or hot lead like me is going to be a lot different. But if you're trying to also capture the people who have no idea that acupuncture is a solution to their problem, then you've got to actually show social proof. Show, oh, you're saying that this can be an alternative to Botox? Show me. I don't believe you. I don't know you. I'm 38, so I'd say I'm probably on the older end of like the people who, I don't know, but I'm telling you, people my age, when we're checking out any type of new service provider, restaurant, boutique, whatever, we go to their Instagram page and we go to check it out to be like, is this somebody I feel like I would want to do business with or not?
I love that you said a picture of you, because this is a big pet peeve of mine, which I spoke recently. I have a masterclass on how to grow your practice, and we did a live one back in December, and now the recording is available. You can check it in the show note below if you missed it. But my point is, during this time, I was auditing some acupuncturist website because they asked me, they were attending, and they're like, you audit my website. And there was quite a few people that had beautiful pictures of the world around them and nature and acupuncture dolls and people and everything. I'm like, I don't even know what you look like. Who are you? Where are you? There's no one picture of you, and I want to connect to you. So that was one of the things. And the other thing, which I found quite often on Instagram, someone will send me a DM, and when people DM me, because it's more personal in the DM, I'll check them out. I want to know who they are. So I go to their Instagram. There is no name. Let's say it's their clinic name, like you said. So I click on the link that is on the profile to look for their name, so I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Am I talking to Molly, Natalie? Who am I
Yeah.
talking to? I'm there for 5 minutes looking for their name, and it says
Yes.
contact, whatever, about the clinic, but there's no name about this person. I'm like, how do you not put your own name on your clinic, right? So I'm so glad you mentioned this, because it's like people are trying to hide. Don't hide. Show who you are. People want to connect to people. So thank you for saying that. Since I started AcuPro Academy, many people have asked me to offer a cosmetic acupuncture online course. However, I do not practice it, but I found the perfect person for that. My friend and colleague, Dr. Rebecca Stevens, has created a course that is easy to digest, very practical, and provides a wealth of knowledge. You can diversify your practice and increase your earnings while delighting your patients by adding cosmetic acupuncture, or sometimes called facial rejuvenation, to your repertoire. This course contains everything you need to start practicing facial acupuncture immediately upon completion. Listen to what people who invested in this course had to say. I was excited to take this course in order to add facial acupuncture to my services and was blown away by Dr. Rebecca's knowledge. She is calm and explained everything so well. She obviously has a lot of experience in the area, and I can't wait to start utilizing this new skill on my patients. I would highly recommend this course. Here's another one. This is a great course. Everything was well explained, but without being repetitive. The video demonstration was so well paced, clear, and complete. It definitely made me feel more confident to practice cosmetic acupuncture. Thank you, Dr. Stevens. If you ever wanted to offer cosmetic acupuncture to your patient as an alternative to Botox and other chemicals, this is the course for you. Go to acuproacademy.com and click the TCM course on the menu tab, or check out the link in the show notes below.
Well, and you said, you weren't taught marketing or business in school. And even for those of us who were, it still very much was like, oh, well, you don't mix your personality and your business. Like, oh my gosh, like that's two different things. That is the fastest way to get no one to book. It depends, if you're in a smaller town or whatever. But if you're in a bigger city and you've got more competition, the thing that's going to make someone book with you versus someone else is, oh, I love the Big Bang Theory. I'm going to go book. Because so seriously, I mean, even little things that seem that inconsequential.
Yeah.
People like to have a connection point to you. It can't just be all business. Okay, I listened to Molly and Clara. I'm going to get consistent. I'm going to start posting on my socials. And then you're just inundating me with facts about acupuncture. And I'm like, cool. Like, I still don't really. So I teach what I call a content ecosystem. I'm actually working on getting it trademarked. It's where I have like 6 different themes, if you will, of types of content that I don't like to reuse the word should, because I'm always like, look, if all you can get out is educational content for now, that's great. That's better than nothing. So like, don't hear that and be like, oh, I can't do it perfectly as she's talking about on the show, so I'm going to do nothing. Don't take that message away. But what I'm saying is, educational content is one type of thing that you need to have on your page, but your messaging needs to speak to your ideal patient in a way that meets them where they are, right? If you're telling them their chi is blocked, they might be like, I don't know what the hell that means, right? But if you're using like symptom specific, like congestion or migraines or fertility or whatever, those, even though I know as someone who gets acupuncture regularly, that a holistic way of establishing true foundational health, that's not usually what's going to get someone in the door. I always say, what are they Googling? You get stuck here, you can just go back to whatever medical record system you use and go, okay, my last 10 new patients, intake form as their chief complaint, post around those 10 things. Assuming that's people you want to see, right? Like you might have had someone come in who wasn't the ideal patient, whatever, skip over that one, right? So that's always like a good place to start. The next type of content is collaboration or like community referral content. Was there a chiropractor who referred someone to you? A massage therapist? Was there a midwife? Now what you're going to do is you're going to create a collaboration post highlighting them as a midwife you trust in the area. And when you add them as a collaborator, and it now lives on their page too. So you've got double the exposure. It doesn't necessarily have to be like direct colleague referral. It can be your favorite coffee shop. You know what I mean? Or like, this is where I get all my herbal teas, or this is my yoga studio. Yes.
You're connecting with your community as well, which is really important because that's how everybody kind of knows everybody. Nobody's going to know you do acupuncture unless you start sharing about other people. It's about the boomerang effect, right? You really throwing something out there, see what happened. It comes back to you 100-fold. So I love that you mentioned people in your area because that's super important. So thank you.
Yeah. And then the beauty of that is when people feel like posting is overwhelming. It's like, well, you have to do a heck of a lot less posting once you've established a network of people who are going to refer patients to you, you know? So, yeah, so that's the community collaboration piece. The next one is the personal and lifestyle piece. So you cannot tell me that your patients don't ask you, Clara, what do you eat? Clara, what do you do when blah, blah, blah happens? Clara, what kind of exercise do you do? Clara, when you're going on vacation, what supplements do you pack? What herbs do you make sure you always have with you? People ask you this stuff. And
all the time.
so, yeah, creating that personal lifestyle. If you have a dog, like I said, you love plants, whatever. You have kids and you, all that kind of stuff. People love that kind of stuff. And that just gives them that personal connection point to you. And the next is what I like to call a direct pitch. And this is such an easy button that so many people miss. Say you do it on a Monday and you look at your schedule for the week and you go, oh, I see I had a new patient cancellation Thursday at 2, and I've got 2 appointments available on Wednesday and Friday. And you literally just post that on your stories or on your feed. DM me to book. I just gave this idea to some of my students a couple weeks ago, and someone messaged me. She's like, oh my gosh, it works. Someone took the spot. I'm like, well, yeah.
We're on social media all the time,
Yeah.
so they actually see it.
Well, I know for me, I'm always sheepish about calling last minute. Like, I'm like, can you fit me in? Like, I always feel like bad calling. I don't know why. I know they would just tell me no if they didn't have availability, but I guess like seeing it there, it's like, hey, our massage therapist has a cancellation this weekend. You know, it's a rare opening. Like that, you could fill it so easily. So you don't have to hide booking an appointment with you underneath layers and layers of educational content. It can literally just be, I have an appointment open tomorrow. Book it.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. The next is what I call engaging or can't help myself content. And going back to like the morning sickness idea, we have a client who sees a lot of pregnant women. It was just a graphic that was like, if you could name your child after your pregnancy cravings, what would their name be? And all of those posts always get, I'm not kidding, 5 times the amount of comments as the other posts because people can't help themselves. They like have to play along. They're like, oh, I got to give my answer. You can even, let's say you see like women in menopause, you can literally type in the search bar menopause memes and like screenshot one and share. Obviously, give credit to the original creator. Don't try to pass it off as your own work. But that's the kind of stuff of like engaging and like can't help myself type content.
I think I posted, that was years ago, I posted, is chocolate better than, and then I went 3 dot dot. So people thought I was going to say sex, but I said acupuncture. Oh my God, you should have seen the comments underneath. That was very funny. Technically, acupuncture puts you in a calm parasympathetic state, which relaxes you. A lot of people go for chocolate to relax themselves, to kind of, oh, this feels good, right? Anyway, it was very funny. Oh, I've put pictures of Miss Piggy from the Muppet Show when she got facial acupuncture, cosmetic acupuncture, and she had her hair done at the same time. It was such a funny picture. I was like, even Miss Piggy gets acupuncture.
Yeah, like
know?
perfect examples. People love it's like they can't help it.
You gotta have fun online, and you're right. You gotta have different kind of content pillars that are going to show up. It's not all the same thing. And I think a lot of people struggle with the creativity part because they're not really sure. But I think that if you start slow and then you'll get your groove. The problem is if you don't do it, you don't get it. Like when I first started on camera, I was just frozen. I didn't know what to say. And now it's like automatic. I still stumble, but it's easier because I've done it so many times. And another thing too that I think people forget is you can repurpose your content. You can also give, let's say you do a reel about, oh, this is the best acupuncture point for headaches. This is a point we use all the time. It's fantastic for acute headache, blah, blah. You can do the same thing as a carousel later on. It's a completely different post. Even though it's the same subject, you could have the same caption, everything, but one is pictures and one is video, right? So I think people think they have to come up with a lot. When you think about it, we have over 365 acupuncture points. If you talk about one point every day, you're done.
Yeah.
You got, you know.
Unless you just have a very, very diverse practice where you're like really seeing everything. You could essentially create 3 to 4 months worth of content and then just kind of go back and start recycling it again. It doesn't have to be like you said. And if you're like, oh, I don't even have time for that, then hire a VA or a patient, maybe in your clinic who wants to learn how to do it. Yeah.
Or a student,
Yeah.
even a student, an
Yeah.
acupuncture student would love to do and help you out and create and be creative and post for you. And they would learn that way. All you need is, 90 days worth of content, and then you repost it all, and then you repost it all because so many people haven't seen it. So don't be scared of having to create new content every day. And another thing too is you don't have to post every day neither. That's another thing that
Mm-mm.
people think you have to post 10 times a day and every day. That makes no sense because it would be too much for anybody, specifically when you have a practice. But what I like about this kind of thing is that it's free, right? The,
Yes.
the idea is it's your time, but it's free. And when you're new at your job or at practicing, you don't have a lot of extra money. This becomes a free option to showcase what you can do for people. So my next question for you is because, of course, social media is great. It literally provides a little bit of a view into our world and what we can do for patients and who we are and the service we offer. However, social media can go away anytime. They can do whatever. They have the rules. So how do you go about bringing those people that are watching you online to become new patients through email lists, through DM? Like, how do you take them from looking and liking and sharing and commenting to, hey, I want to be part of your world and be on your either email list because that one disappeared or as a patient?
But first step on this is going back to having that super duper specific messaging where it's like you're calling out like something where your ideal patient's going like, wait, do you have a camera in here? Are you talking to me? So when talking about general health is usually, or like even stress is really too, it's not like a specific enough topic because stress means different things to different people, right? The specific messaging is one really good key piece. But before I answer, I'm actually going to go backwards because I'm assuming you have a lot of established practitioners who listen to your show as well, who already have an active patient database. One of my favorite hacks that I've literally seen no one ever teach, if you're going to start getting consistent on whatever platform, email your current patient database and ask them to follow you on Instagram. Because once you can get your current patients engaging with your content, not only are they going to rebook more often, because that's one thing people never talk about. People ask a lot about new, but they don't think about the retention piece. So it's 60% cheaper or costs 60% more to acquire a new patient than to retain your current. Let's go for the low hanging fruit, push the easy button first. Like if you can be regularly appearing in their social media feeds, then maybe they get their husband to come in, or maybe their neighbor or their kid or whatever, or maybe they book more often, right? So that's one thing. The other for getting new people in is just, again, making it easy to book and making it really clear what your customer journey is for your booking process. If I can book online, that's usually my go to. I know it doesn't work for everyone, whatever, but you've got to make it super easy for people to want to book an appointment and make it super clear how to book. And even not being afraid to say, like, my DMs are open if you've got concerns, like, I'm happy to chat through it with you. Did you see story highlights are going away, Clara?
Yes, I saw that.
What you can do is create a pinned post for your profile that's very clear about who you are, a picture of you, your services, like your most common quote complaints that you see, and then like an outline of your booking process. Like, your first appointment, expect this long. Like I said, make it very step by step and very clear. We do have some clients who have many chat automations for appointments. I'm just being realistic. We don't see it utilized a lot, but you can have people, even if they don't want to click the link in your bio, you can do it like comment the word, and you can even just manually DM them. It's not like you have to have a many chat automation set up. And if you don't know what that is, if your audience is familiar, it's just a bot that automatically sends someone a link to their DMs. And I'm saying many, like MANY, like one, not many. Someone who, like, maybe you have a full script and you sell a lot of supplements, or maybe you sell gua sha tools or something, I don't know, and you want to send people links to that more frequently. Oh, one tip, Clara, is to
Yes.
not talk about yourself in the third person. Dr. Clara's office hours are today from 10 to 3. Well, now if I comment or DM you, I don't know that I'm talking to Clara. But if you say I have office, like, people are much more willing to engage in conversation.
Absolutely. And I say that all the time. Really be personal. Like, hey guys, someone just canceled your opportunity is here to grab this appointment before it goes. That's it. Like, I can't wait to see you, but it should be I and not this person. Because I think we have to understand that the way people were promoting their services 40, 30, 20 years ago is completely different, because now online people feel like they know you, right? And
Yeah.
this happens to me all the time. People are like, oh my God, I feel like I know you. I know your dog. I know your husband. I know your niece. It's like they know me because I'm constantly there. And fair enough, that makes sense. So if I talked about myself at the third person and said, oh, Clara's new podcast today is about XYZ, they would go, why is she talking about
Where'd
herself
you
like
go?
this? And what?
Yeah.
It would be very funny. I really appreciate you being here today. We'll have all the show note links below where you can find Molly. She's on Instagram anyway, but we'll have the link to that. I know you do a lot to help practitioners. So I know you have courses, you have the podcast, which I would love for people to listen to, because all it is just getting your toes dipped into it a little bit to
Mhm.
feel more confident, and then to see the results. Even if it's one person that literally called you, makes an appointment, that person will refer other people. That person, now you can email and say, hey, I'm on Instagram, or I'm, blah, blah, like you were saying, like tell your patients to follow you. I have patients that follow me on AcuPro Academy, even though it's not a practice, Instagram account. It's for students and practitioners, but they follow me and they're like, Clara, this is so cool. I didn't know about this point. And so then they come to see me as a patient. They're like, oh, I know that point is stomach 36. And I'm like, you got it. So in the end, they really like that. They enjoy the learning process and they're enjoying seeing you. And when they see you, it reminds them that you are here. And then if you talk about, let's say, insomnia one day, they don't have any insomnia, but their husband has not been able to sleep for 3 weeks. They're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that for insomnia because I came for headaches or fertility or whatever. So now suddenly this person that is your patient, that is following you, can tell other people about what you can do for everyone around them. So it's fantastic. So thank you so much for coming, Molly, today.
Absolutely.
Any last final thoughts you want to leave my
Yeah,
audience?
I would just say, as Clara alluded to, there's lots of different ways to work with me. Listening to the podcast is great, but if you are on Instagram, I'm very active in my DMs. It's my favorite way to connect with people because I have over 100 podcast episodes. If you just DM me at Molly A. Cahill, that's Cahill, I'll just steer you in the right direction. Like, oh, it sounds like you need help with this. Go to this episode. I love doing that because that way, I get to chat with you and then you're not trying to sift through my years and years of content and I can just put you in the right place. I'd love for you to reach out. Or if you want to get started with reels and you're not really like Instagram reels and you're kind of like, I have no idea where to do, then you can just go to mollycahill.com/reels and it's 101 prompts as well as a tech tutorial, like where I show you how to post it.
Awesome. Perfect. Is that free?
Free.
Yeah.
Free.
See?
Yes.
So Molly is giving you a little free cheat sheet where you can get some ideas to get you started. So thank you, Molly. That's awesome. We'll have the link in the show notes below so people can just click directly. But yeah, that'd be awesome.
And even if you just want to use them as a post idea and you don't want to make it as a reel, you can do that too.
That is true. So many options. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Clara, for having me. I appreciate you.
Likewise, my friend. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I truly hope you benefited from this episode, and I would love for you to share it with a friend that may benefit from it as well. Follow the show, leave a review, and if you want more, go to my website, acuproacademy.com. I have tons of resources there with treatment protocols, case studies, free courses, and so much more. And connect with me on all social media at AcuPro Academy. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, Pinterest, and LinkedIn and TikTok. And no matter what, keep rocking it using TCM. Please listen to the disclaimer because the AcuPro Show podcast and material shared through AcuPro Academy, which is a subdivision of Natural Health Sense Incorporated, are designed solely for educational and entertainment purposes. The utilization of information from this podcast or any associated material is at the user's discretion and risk. This content is not meant to replace the guidance of an acupuncturist, Chinese medicine doctor, medical doctor, physician, or any qualified professional, nor is it a substitute for proper diagnosis or treatment. Users are strongly advised not to ignore or postpone seeking medical advice for any existing medical condition with their healthcare professional regarding any health concerns.